York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
The passion's real. Tune in every week, don't miss a snap. It's the Jets group chat pod bringing the facts. So grab your gear, let's hit the air. Jets Nation's calling, we'll meet you there. Matt, Jerry, Dennis, PJ, and Nick on track. It's the Jets group chat pod.
Welcome in, ladies and gents, to the Jets Group Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cardos. Rapid fire trade deadline episode brings us here together tonight. Here with PJ and handsome Jerry Spiga. Crazy fucking Tuesday trade deadline, boys. Just, Sauce Gardner, didn't see that one coming. He goes out 2 first-round picks plus. All-Pro Quinnen Williams, he also gets shipped off to Dallas. I think that one was probably on the radar. I had a feeling that would go down, but just what's going on, boys? How are we feeling today? What's going through your minds?
Whoa. Whoa. I mean, this was not even excitement, a lot of chatter. I mean, this is the most the Jets have been in the news or in a lively group chat in a long time. But like I said, dude, I feel like every time the Jets are making moves or in the news, we always got to talk PJ off the ledge. He's the one going crazy every time. The sky was falling today. He thought Garrett Wilson was next on the chopping block. But I got to say, you're heading today like a champ, dog.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I got to say is jerseys are overrated. I'm gonna stop buying some Jets jerseys, man.
Well, I made a decision. I'm not buying any more jerseys in general unless it's a retired player or it's like a custom jersey. Yeah. Although I gotta say, I think my next jersey and I think the jersey that I'm gonna wear consistently is gonna be a Nick Management jersey.
Okay.
Yeah,
that one's gotta get done. Yeah. It's gotta get done.
Yeah.
R.I.P. By the way.
I know a lot of fireworks, and it's actually pretty ironic today. Rest in peace, Nick Mangold. We haven't been on since its passing, and it's still it's still right here in my heart. It's heartbreaking news that we lost Nick so quickly after he announced what he was going through with his kidney issues. So rest in peace to Nick Mangold. But a lot of the Jets personnel and former players, today was actually his memorial service.
Yep.
Morning, like as the Sauce trade
this was happening.
As the Sauce trade was going down, I think Rich Samini tweeted out that he was standing outside the church of Nick Mangold's mass, and he told Darrelle Revis about the Sauce Gardner trade, outside the church as it went down. So, on one side, you're mourning and looking back and reflecting on a career of one of the best guys in franchise history, and you're sending one out at the same time. It's just a lot going on today in the Jets, hemisphere, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, and obviously that was the first one that dropped this morning. And of course it always works out that way, but I was glued to my phone all day. And, I went and grabbed lunch with Kimberly, my wife, and we were running some errands, and I left my phone in the car for 5 minutes to help her carry some bags out of her car and stuff. And I got back in my car and I just saw I had 38 text messages and notifications, and I was like, what is this all about? I assumed when I saw Jets were in it, and I assumed it was going to be Quinnen Williams got traded, and it wasn't computing to me. I opened it and I saw the graphic of Sauce Gardner traded, and I'm just
I thought it was fake when I first saw it.
I thought it was fake too.
Me too.
Like one of those fake Adam Schefter things. I'm like, they got us. They got us when we're down. But I said do the same thing, man. I saw it and I was like, hold on. And even when I texted it to the chat, I was like, let me do some due diligence because I couldn't find it. It wasn't popping up really on my feed until I guess a couple minutes, and then all of a sudden, here we go.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. And then at that point, I'm like, I saw it as I'm driving in my car, and I'm like, I need to pull over and I need to collect myself and just kind of understand what was going on or whatever. And I mean, talk about a out of left field blockbuster, franchise altering move. Whether it's going to alter the franchise in a positive way or a negative way, that's to be determined. But
To be seen.
Yeah.
However, whoa, to get 2 1s for a corner.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like, and I think, to be honest, and we talked about this earlier today, my gut, I hate it. I love Sauce. Obviously, I'm rocking the Sauce shirt today. It's just, it's weird to think about him leaving because he was supposed to be one of the cornerstone guys. You know, they signed him, they signed GW5. They're staying. There's going to be guys we build around. And then to see him leave, you're like, oh, damn, like that, it sucks. It hurts. I hate it. Then you see the comp and you're like, oh, like on paper, I can get behind it. And I feel like anybody throws multiple ones in your face, I don't care who you are. I'm thinking about this franchise. I'm considering it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for I think any non-quarterback, 2 1s, anybody pretty much has to be on the table. You know, any non-quarterback player. They essentially got the Micah Parsons package, or the even the Jamal Adams package, if you will. It's hard to walk away from. And I just listened to Darren Mougey. He was on about an hour ago. I think he met with the media. And he pretty much said that from the start of the season until the trade deadline, the Jets' entire front office, they meet every single week and they discuss every player on the roster and they assign a value, like what it would take to trade any player on the roster. And that's what they go into the trade deadline. If they get a phone call, they have what their price would be if somebody calls. And he said that the Colts have gradually upped their offer. It sounded like they've been talking for the last 2 days about this. But he said it like they initially made a call. It was a no. And then gradually the Colts have upped their offer to it getting to the point of obviously the 2 1s and Adonai Mitchell. And he said at that point the value was exceeding where they had Sauce as the asking price, and it was just too good to walk away from. And I mean, I get it,
Yeah. And give him credit. He stuck to his price, stuck to his guns, because then news is coming out that I think the Chiefs offered a 4 for Brees. And he's like, nope, he just flat out declined it.
Yeah.
So I feel like you got to give credit where credit's due. They got that value. They got the value tagged to the player, and they stuck to their guns and they went for it. And I feel like there's no way they had 2 1s in their thought process for the Colts. But on the other side of the coin, I understand the Colts are playing well, but who the fuck are the Colts to give up 2 1s for a corner? You're not a corner away. They're not like one piece away. Like they're one Danny Dimes fumble away from imploding.
I mean, it feels like there's potential, high risk for both teams because the Jets need to hit on both of those picks for the trade to look good. Otherwise, you traded a 23, 24-year-old controllable corner where
stud.
I mean, you could debate. I mean, I think at this point we can be honest with ourselves. He's not the best corner in the league. I mean, Patrick Surtain, and there's a couple other guys, but I mean, he's certainly probably a top 5, top 6 guy if we're being honest. Which is still damn valuable on the deal that he's on, controllable as long as he's on. So if the Jets don't hit on the picks, it's probably not going to look great. But on the flip side, I think we could have a come to Jesus party here and kind of be honest in our assessment of Sauce Gardner. He has declined in the last 2 years, his level of play. I mean, still good. I think in aspects he's overrated, and I think in other aspects he's underrated and gets a lot of shit. He's
such
great.
an enigma, man.
He's great in coverage. He's good in coverage. He doesn't allow a lot of separation. He causes tight windows, but on the flip side, the things you're looking for out of a guy with that salary, you want him to turn the ball over and you want him to get those big stops on third down. And it just seems like for the last year and a half, 2 years, he can't turn the ball over. He's very handsy. Mm-hmm. He's constantly getting called for holding or pass interference when it matters. And it's become an issue. So,
and that's where I sit with this trade. Like, I feel like he's not overrated. He's not underrated. I feel like he is perfectly rated depending on what lens you're looking at. on paper, he's an elite top 2, top 3 corner. He really is. You look at his measurables, you look at, his past games, he only gives up 1 or 2 catches here and there. But like to passive Jet fans who are watching the games week in, week out, he's a touch overrated. I feel like if he was born and played in the era of 10 to 15 years ago, he'd be all world. He goes and matches up well against the larger DK Metcalf or like those bigger receivers. He has trouble with where the NFL is going. The Tyreek Hills, the Amon St. Brown, those like speedster, quick, twitchy guys, he has trouble with. We saw the thing on Twitter today. The Mitchell guy we just got, what's the one highlight that comes up? Is him burning him across the middle of the field.
Yeah.
So I think I can understand and justify both sides of why the Colts would give up so much for a guy like that. But also, too, if I'm the Jets, I'm looking at a 2-1s for a guy I probably only attached maybe a 1 and a player or a 1 and a 4. It is what it is. It's just business, and it sucks to see him go. But I mean, you're ecstatic. But you said it the right way. You've got to hit on the picks. I don't care who it is. You could give up a 7th round pick for him, but if that 7 turns into an all-pro, the trade looks great. This means nothing until 3 years down the road when these guys, we have an evaluation on if they're good, bad, or indifferent, or what they are.
Yeah, I think the thing that sucks is that we were here already. It's deja vu. We do this all the fucking time, and we did this with this whole
8th rebuild.
Yeah, 3 first-round picks, and with those Sauce was part of that, Garrett was part of that, and now it's like he's doing it all over again.
Yeah. Well, none of it means nothing until you have the quarterback, and that's the way I look at it. All this, all the ones, all the shit you could trade for or trade away. I don't care if your entire roster stacked. Until you have that quarterback position figured out, none of it means anything. And I think that gives the Jets ultimate flexibility, which again, we got to hit on the picks, but you're not now pigeonholed to saying you must get a quarterback in round 1 of this draft. Because if there's not one, you don't love one, or somebody gets sniped right in front of you.
Yeah.
You got your bridge until next year when you have more first-round picks, more second-round picks. So it gives them multiple flexibility. And I think, Carlos, you mentioned it today. This, above all else, says Aaron Glenn ain't going fucking anywhere. If he was given the keys to blow this up and do it his way or whatever you want to call it, there's no way his leash is anything short of 3 years.
Yeah.
Period.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, it's just you don't let the guy trade the guy you just extended till 2030
unless he's here for the long haul.
If you're canning him in 9 weeks from now, right?
Right.
Like it's just you're not doing that. And PJ said it perfectly, right? Right. It's like, oh, we're just another 5 years away from being 5 years away. It's like we constantly go through this process of like it's very rare that the Jets actually hit on a draft pick or develop a good young player. It doesn't happen often, but it seems like every time the Jets do hit on that guy, when it comes time for them to being up for a contract, and in this case, in Sauce, he already signed with that extension, which was a rarity in the changing of the guard. But you finally hit on a guy who was part of the last draft class where you had 3 first rounders and 3 small in the second round. And you're trading him, 3 months into his extension. And it's like, sure, the offer was too good to refuse, but there's emotions attached to fandom. And we're attached to players. We're invested in the team. We're invested in the players. And Sauce, I mean, say what you want about what his shortcomings are. He's a good player. We developed him. We drafted him. He wanted to stay here. He said the right things publicly. He handled himself well. He doesn't drink. He doesn't smoke. He's never in trouble. And he wanted to be here. So he signed up to be here long term. And 3 months later, you trade him. So as a fan, I understand, the emotion and the disappointment that comes with that decision. And that's kind of, I think,
at the end of the day, man.
What was that, PJ? I'm sorry.
But it's business at the end of the day.
All business.
Yeah, and I think apparently from what Rich Samini said, he texted with Sauce Gardner's brother, who's also his like agent and rep, and that Sauce was shocked to like hear of the trade as we all were. He said they didn't they didn't have it on their radar. Nobody told them it was coming. Apparently, he got a call at like 12:15, like 10 minutes before it hit Twitter, that they were trading him, and I think Aaron Glenn called him and told him as well after Mougey did, but he said he understood point blank that it was a business, and he understands why the Jets had to make the trade, and that he was excited to go to a winning situation, which I think those that could go a long way too. If like at least it's like the Jets sent him to like Arizona or like the Raiders, like they moved him to a good situation that has a good culture. I'm sure he appreciates if he was going to move. At least the Jets put him in a place where he's in a position to go to the playoffs for the first time in his career.
Yeah, he's going from a 1-7 team to a 7-2 team.
Yeah, but I think it's also like I think you brought it up, Spiga. It's an awful ballsy move by the Colts to go all in. Like, yeah, they're 7-2. They might not have a huge window, to make a run consistently every year, but they're good this year and they're going for it. But man, after what I've seen, and I think the three of us know better than a lot of people might, like we've had an up close and personal accounting of Daniel Jones these last 5 years. A lot of it hasn't been pretty. Mm-hmm. And so it feels like at any point, like that the clock could hit midnight and he could turn back into a pumpkin real quick. So, I mean, he's on a little bit of a heater right now. He's playing well, but you're telling me if you're trading 2 first-round picks, you have your quarterback, you have that figured out. That guy better win you a lot of games the next 2 years, or this is going to turn out to be a disaster trade for the Colts.
Well, we're thinking Super Bowl this year.
What's that?
We're thinking Super Bowl this year. You don't make the move. You don't think Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
I appreciate the aspiration. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they think that. I don't know how realistic that is when you're in the conference with Buffalo and Kansas City and teams like that. I mean, the playoffs are going to go through those guys. So if they think that, I mean, hell, maybe they think Sauce Gardner is the final piece to going toe to toe with Josh Allen or going toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes. I think it always, as it is for us, we're talking about it right now. If you don't have the quarterback, you don't have anything. So they obviously think that Daniel Jones is the guy now and moving forward. So, I mean, all the power to them. If they have that conviction, if they have that belief that Daniel Jones is the guy, then I guess it's a move you have to make. And they obviously felt that way and made that move. So for our sake, I hope they're wrong. And I hope Daniel Jones fucking sucks. And the Colts lose out the rest of the way, and our pick the next 2 years looks good. But there's definitely high risk for both teams. It's a high risk for the Jets to look bad if they don't hit on the picks, and it's a high risk for the Colts might not be as good as they think they are, and the picks parlay a little bit better to us.
I'll tell you this though, I did not have Alan Lazard outlasting Sauce Gardner on this team on my bingo card. Holy shit! But you know what though? Good. Honestly, like we talk shit, but like I wish Sauce and Q nothing but the best. Never gave us a problem. I do hope that they find success. Because you want that for these young guys, especially Q, a little bit older. But it's just I'm happy with what we got. We just got to hit on those draft picks. And like I said, I think, the Q one we saw coming, and I think to get that haul for him as well, I think made it easier to swallow, even though we knew it was coming. But to get a 1 and a 2 and a relatively decent young player, I mean, you got to like what Mougey's doing, stockpiling some, young players, high upside. It's you cannot be optimistic a little bit. Yeah. It sucks, but you can't not feel good about, what we got.
Right.
Yeah, same thing what you were saying with like the Colts, like who were they to go trade 2 1s? I mean, who were the Cowboys to go trade? Yeah.
That's who. When you got Dak, who's like, who knows what you're gonna do with him? Like, your 1 should be gold. And granted, now you got to pay him. So you put yourself in the same position you had with Parsons.
Yeah.
But the Cowboys are the Cowboys.
I'm honestly when I was fine with the move. I was kind of reserved to the fact that there was a good shot they were going to move Q. There's been a lot of more rumblings of it the last 2 or 3 days that, like, it seemed more of a chance of it happening than there had been for the last few weeks. And then it turns out today, Connor Hughes reported that he's asked for a trade 3 separate times, like in the last bunch of months. Like he wanted out. I give him credit as like a man and as a player. We've seen a lot of players come through here that, publicly made this messy.
Right.
We didn't hear anything about these trade requests. He never asked for a trade publicly. He's tweeted a couple, Bible verses and emojis and stuff that made you think that maybe he wasn't happy, but like he never outright came out and said he wanted to be traded, and we didn't really know he wanted to be traded. So, because obviously that decreases his value, like in negotiations. If the Cowboys know he wants out, they're maybe not as, apropos to surrendering the capital that the Jets are asking for.
Right.
No,
2 is our ceiling.
Right. So I give him a lot of credit for not making it messy on the way out, like he could have. But I'm okay with that aspect of, moving on from him. He's 27. He's going to be 28 next year. I think he only has $7 or $8 million guaranteed left on his deal, which means he's not playing next year on that deal.
Right.
So
he has no business being on, or us fighting for, a player who has a 18-month window, and we are not 18 months away from making the playoffs.
Correct.
Naturally, the business part comes in.
And I don't, granted, the Jets had plenty of cap space before these moves, but I don't know that the Jets wanted to give out another massive extension to Quinnen Williams going into his age 28 season.
Mm-hmm.
For a guy that, he's really good. He's a top 5 D tackle in this league. He's probably the best run stuffing D tackle in the league, but he hasn't really gotten to the passer. And I know a lot of that is him being doubled and commanding attention a lot, but for when you're paying a guy that money, you want to see more, you want to see those sack numbers be there, and they just have not.
Just like what we said with the Sauce thing. Great player, I think, meant more to the fans than he did really on the field. Well, granted, I don't mean to say it that way. He meant a lot on the field, but you're paying that much money. You want forced fumbles. You want sacks. You want an Aaron Donald type of enforcer in the middle, and that's not really what we got. So I feel like kind of looking at it through that other lens, it kind of makes it a little bit easier to swallow. And I think another thing you said makes a great point that people aren't talking a lot about. The Jets had a lot of cap space before we offloaded these 2 big contracts. Now we have a shit ton of money and a lot of options on what we're going to do with it. I wouldn't be surprised if he's open to it. They start talking to Breece Hall about an extension. Same thing with Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, I think you have to, right? I think you have to approach both of them. If you didn't trade them today, I don't know that the Jets went into this morning knowing that this is what they were going to do,
Right.
But the fact is that they made these moves. Their strategy has to change what they're doing long term after these. Maybe they thought this was like a microwavable, playoff team that you find a guy here, a guy there, we catch lightning in a bottle, and you go on a 9-win, 10-win run, and you make the playoffs. But that's out the window now. This isn't like a microwavable playoff team. This is more of a
build from the top up,
3-4 year. And I know you could say, like, if you hit on your draft picks, as soon as you find the quarterback, things could change instantaneously. That is true. Hypothetically, if the Jets like one of these guys that are coming out, like Mendoza or Moore or one of those guys, and they have a top 2 or 3 pick, and if they have conviction that that's the guy, then if he's good, they're going to be good next year. We don't know that.
Right.
Their entire like long-term strategy obviously is altered a little bit by what they did today.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that, going into future years now, you have 5 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks in the next 2 drafts. That's 7 top probably 35 to 45 picks in the next 2 drafts. So there's going to be highly rated, highly regarded prospects that are going to be available to the Jets. Or if somebody in the league becomes available, that is on the trade block, that
Joe Burrow. Sorry.
I think that would be the pipe dream. I've seen that floated on Twitter where, maybe Joe Burrow wants out of Cincinnati a year from now and they're apt to moving him. You're geared up. Apparently the 27 draft is a historical draft. They say that's could be the most generational draft in the last, 25 years. That's what all these draft gurus. So if you're going into one of the most, generational drafts with 3 first-round picks, that's ammo to do whatever you want, whether it's draft a quarterback, draft a blue chip guy, make a trade. I mean, you kind of control your own destiny with the picks. So I love having that flexibility, and like it or not, these two guys are going to get the chance now to make this team in their image. They're sending the guys out from this other regime that kind of had the stink of Saleh and Douglas on them. And at the end of the day, it's probably easier for them to move guys like Quinnen Williams and Sauce Gardner because they didn't draft them. They don't have a tie to him. They didn't scout them. They didn't draft them. But yeah, after these moves today now, not only do they have all those draft picks, but they're due to have $116 million in cap space.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that anybody's knocking down the door looking to take the Jets' money, but it sure to me sounds like Jermaine Johnson wants to remain a Jet.
And I would give that motherfucker whatever he wants. I did before, but then even like to hear, they approached him and said they're not going to shop him. And then all of a sudden now they're fielding calls. I know the Bears and the 49ers were hot after him. And after all that, and to see, some of the other guys that, he got drafted with and came up with out the window. And again, injury prone a little bit. He stays here and still says the shit that he's saying, that he wants to be here, loves the fans, loves everybody. He owes it to us to be great. He's going to work hard. Like, I think like that is an Aaron Glenn guy. And I feel like they might've gotten calls and people have gotten close to their asking price for him, but I can see Aaron Glenn coming in and being like, nope, this is another pretty much untouchable, just like Garrett Wilson.
I like it.
I think so, man. I fucking love Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah, me too. He was, of the guys that were being floated, he was the one I wanted to stay the most. Him and Brees, and they ended up being the two guys that did stay, coincidentally enough.
Not going to buy the jersey because you never know. No, but I want Jermaine Johnson to stay on this team.
I invested a lot of money in an authentic jersey this past summer with Cardos on the back, and I'm done. Like that. That's it. I spent like $300 on an authentic with my name on the back, and that's it now. Like I'm never buying another jersey again. That's it.
Telling you, Mangold's gonna be the only one that I get. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good way to go though. Like the retired player, like a retired player that's done something here, like a
right.
Like a DeBrickashaw Ferguson or a Nick Mangold or something like that, like a Curtis Martin, something like that. But yeah, the jersey game's out of control, as you guys know. But yeah, I would just simply at this point, you didn't trade them. Apparently, there was a second rounder on the table for Jermaine Johnson.
I heard that too. That's why I think he came in. He's their guy, and he's an Aaron Glenn guy, and he wants to build around him.
If I had to guess, because Connor Hughes said the Jets had a second round pick on the table for him, and they wanted a little more. And the team offering the second was not willing to go a little more. I wonder what a little more is, because if you look at all these trades that he's made in the last week, the Quinnen Williams trade, he brings back the D tackle who was their first round pick 2 years ago. In the Michael Carter trade to Philadelphia last week, he brings back John Mechie, second round pick from 2 years ago. And in the Sauce Gardner trade, he brings back Adonai Mitchell, second round pick 2 years ago. So in all these trades, not only is he being stealth, getting good draft capital, but he's also bringing in like a high upside guy who's kind of been cast off, was a high, top 40, top 50 pick.
Low risk, high reward players, man.
And so you have to wonder if the little more he was looking for was a player of that ilk, like a cast off guy that was a first or second rounder that maybe has fallen out of favor, and maybe willing to include a piece like that in the deal, and maybe that's where they, walked away from taking the second. We'll probably never know that, but it's just an interesting. That's the first thing that thought to my mind was like, well, if you get an offering at 2, a 2 feels fair for Jermaine Johnson at this stage. If you were going to move him, and what else would you want?
Well, who would that be on the Niners or the Bears? Who's the highly touted draft guy who just hasn't really officially panned out that well?
Yeah, I don't know. Take your pick. There's probably a few. I'd have to go up and down those rosters, but I'm sure there's a couple. And they're looking for wide receivers. They're looking for safety help. They're now looking for corner help on the field. So there's a couple of things that they would have been open to.
Well, we have all these first round picks. Why don't we trade 2 to the Colts for Sauce?
Yeah. Right. Maybe. I mean, and that's the other flip side of this too that I've been thinking about. Like, I'm cool with the draft capital they've gotten. Like, the emotion in me is kind of like calmed down, and I'm like, football sense, like both good moves. The Jets are in a good position moving forward if they hit on the picks.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's a team that already had a bunch of holes, and they just opened up 2 more holes at premium positions.
Right.
And so, yeah, they have a lot of draft capital now, but they're going to have to use some of that on a D tackle that you hope is as good as Quinnen Williams. And you're going to have to use one of those picks on a corner, maybe not a first, but you're going to take a top 3 round probably pick on a corner and hope they're good as Sauce Gardner, in addition to, hitting on the quarterback, finding the wide receiver 2, finding another edge rusher. You're going to have to fill 2
the holes you just got rid of. You're right.
Correct. And so you're going to have to use capital to do that. So I understand though, like I understand as a fan, it's hard to swallow. There's a lot of emotions involved in it. We're all investing a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy. And it doesn't help that, that they haven't won more than 7 games in a decade. They haven't made the playoffs in 15 years. And the ticket prices keep going up.
Sanity.
It's a lot to swallow. It's a lot to take. And so when you strip the team of, arguably their 2 most popular players, and then ask us to fork over thousands of dollars on December 1st for a product that you don't know what it's going to look like, at kickoff next year, it's hard to swallow. So, but that's what fandom is, right? Like, none of this is cut and dry. If you're a fan of a team, you're a fan of a team. You stay loyal and hope that good days are ahead. But I mean, faith is, like hope is kind of exhausting at this point as a Jet fan, because that's all you've clung to for the last 15 plus years is hope. Like, oh, we have a bunch of draft picks.
Yay!
We hope we're going to be good. And it's the same shit that it was 5 years ago. We had 3 first-round picks. We hope we hit on them. We did hit on them. Now we hope we're going to make the playoffs. We don't make the playoffs. We got Aaron Rodgers. The great hope didn't work out. And it's like, it's crazy how quickly, the whole pendulum of like success could shift. At this time last year, we're trading premium picks. We're trading premium picks to get Devontae Adams to like try to go to the Super Bowl. A year later, here we are,
unloading fire sale.
Yeah, like trading our star 24-year-old corner to get premium draft capital. It's just the balance has shifted so quickly. It's just like, as a fan, it's been a whirlwind the last year. And if you're not loyal to the green and white, if it's not in you, man, like I understand why people feel like they're at their wits end and are, wanting to give up their season tickets or not wanting to go show up every Sunday or not even wanting to, put the game on every Sunday. I understand it because they make it hard. And it's not just the moves or the on the field stuff. It's like the way they present it also just makes it 10 times hard to get behind it. So it's been tough times, but I mean, here we are recording a podcast, dedicating our free time talking about it. So,
are they going to win another game this year? Like they play the Browns. Are they going to beat the Browns or not?
They will. They're going to come out and they'll smoke the Browns because that's how.
I was going to say, I bet you they show up and play well on Sunday.
Yeah,
like,
I hope so.
I feel like, sometimes like you like, and this is for all sports, not necessarily just football, but sometimes there's like a major shakeup in a roster and you think that like a team's going to mail it in or a team is like, oh, that's it. They just traded their best guy. And sometimes it does the opposite. Like they trade the best player and it just does something in the locker room to like bring guys together. And
you fire a coach the next week they come out, they always win. Or like you said, you make a big trade. Or again, a big shakeup, it puts everybody on notice and it kind of re-centers the focus. It shifts the energy. I can see them coming out and just fucking blasting the Browns on Sunday. I really can.
I'm looking forward the rest of the way. And honestly, like I like all the drama because like that's what the last month has been for us. Like the angst of like who's gonna be here, who's gonna stay, who's gonna go, what's it gonna look like. now that the deadline is come and gone and we can kind of look ahead to the future a little bit, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of the young guys like play major reps. Like I want to see Ezra Thomas. He's going to start at corner every week now. Like, what does that look like? I know he got cooked by Higgins in the first half of last week's game, but then he didn't have a catch the rest of the game. You know, he played really well aside from that one rep in that Cincinnati game. Like, I want to see Thomas the rest of the way at corner. Like, what does that look like? You shipped Michael Carter out. Now you're firmly putting a vote of confidence on Brownlee. Like,
I like Brownlee.
I love Brownlee. He's like
I like him a lot.
He's what you want in a player. He's a dog.
Yeah, what a stealth pickup that was.
Yeah, he really was.
So, I mean, he's your slot guy now. He's going to play every rep. And I know we all knocked the Brandon Stevens signing when it was made, and he didn't start off well those first 2 weeks.
He's turned it around. I mean,
he's been really good since week 3. Stevens has been really good. So, you know, I want to see those guys get reps. Obviously, Moore now is going to play more of a role with Cisco out. He's going to start every week. He already was playing a lot, but I mean, bless you, PJ.
Thank you.
It's not like we're recording a pod, PJ. Don't worry about it.
But Moore's going to be out there just about every down. And now you're probably going to see Briggs a lot more now that Quinnen Williams is not there. Briggs has played well in the reps that he's gotten. And these receivers now that they've traded for, I think you're going to see Mechie, you're going to see Adonai Mitchell. And these are 2 second-round, third-round guys that have high upside, that were big prospects that kind of fell out of favor for a myriad of different reasons in their situations in, you know, Houston and Philly, and then for Mitchell in Indianapolis. But if you look at their metrics, like they're both, even still, like when they play, they're getting good separation on their routes.
Right.
And so there's some clay there to mold. And I think, I mean, in their situations, they weren't getting on the field. They weren't getting the reps for how young they are. And they're going to get those reps the last 9 weeks. The Jets are so thin at wide receiver. I mean, those guys are immediately wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 3 every week. And I want to see Arian Smith continue to, you know, see some reps here and there and see if he can develop. And Mason Taylor, I mean, he's going to play a lot the rest of the way, a lot of targets coming his way. So, I mean, that's what the rest of the way is about, is these young guys getting reps. And hopefully I know, do you want them to win or not? I mean, I don't really care, because are they going quarterback in this draft or not? I don't know. It depends if they like. But like you said, Spiga, after these trades today, they're not pigeonholed into necessarily taking a quarterback if they don't like a quarterback in this draft.
Right.
And actually, I mean, a lot of like draft experts are saying that the Jets are probably better off, you know, going the bridge quarterback again next year and, you know, rolling out Fields again for one more year. You're already paying him. He's guaranteed $20 million next year. You might as well roll with Fields for one more year and figure out what the 20 and you could still go quarterback next year. Take one in the 3rd round, you know, take one in the 4th round next year. And like, at least you got like some kind of prospect that if Fields doesn't play well, you know, throw a dart at something and see if it sticks.
I'm also not in the, I'm in the camp of, like, I don't love all of the quarterbacks this year. I mean, like a Grant, like, you know, Mendoza looks good, you know, Ty Simpson looks good, but again, like, we're back in that 1-year wonder type thing. Yeah. I'm not opposed to, like, again, taking your best player available at 1, or, you know, trading back, you know, getting more capital. Why not take a 2 or 3 round flyer on the guys who are supposed to be leading this class, and like the Nussmeier or Cade Klubnik, you know, like one of those guys who were all world for 2 years and is having a down year. You steal one of them for the 2nd round, see what you have, and you have a glorified backup. Worst comes to worst, you try again next year.
Right.
You know, like, I love that they're not pigeonholed like we always are. It's like, oh, we got to get the number 1 overall pick. History shows number 1 overall pick usually works out less of the time than anywhere else in the draft.
Yeah.
Outside of a Jared Goff, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about that, and, you know, why not hold off and, like I said, take what you can get good talent here, and then when you have crazy capital, 3 1s in 2027, take a shot.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, PJ could speak to it. I mean, Cam Ward went 1 last year. His boy Jackson Dart went 25. I mean,
Yeah.
I think if they redrafted today, Jackson Dart would probably go 1 overall.
Number 1, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you could find a quarterback either later in the first round or in the second round. I mean, if you have conviction about the guy. I know there were a lot of red flags about Jackson Dart last year. I mean, they worried about, the competition level. They didn't always play well against good teams, blah, blah, blah. But, I don't know. The Giants don't do a lot of things well at this point. They're pretty dysfunctional, just like the Jets are. But, I mean, I give them credit for, letting the coach find his guy. He believed in him. They traded up and they took him. And, I mean, that coach probably ain't going to be there after this year. But, I mean, Giants probably have their guy for at least a couple of years. He seems like he's only ascending, and next year coming back when he has Scadaboo and Malik Neighbors and probably a better wide receiver too after either a trade or free agency. I mean, they might be cooking there.
A hell of a fucking pass rush. Their defensive line is insane.
Yeah, so I mean, they for all their problems, you don't really have you don't have as big of problems as the Jets do because you think you have the quarterback, and so. And maybe he's not the quarterback. Maybe it's just a flash in the pan. Maybe he's not the quarterback, but they think he's
the quarterback. I wanted Jackson Dart on the Jets. He's
I know you've been on him from the get go. I remember you wanted him. But yeah,
still think we made the right decision getting the right tackle. Your line is almost set.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
I've seen
tackle over Tyler Warren too.
Yeah. And they did it the year before over Brock Bowers. So, I mean, I've seen so much revisionist history over the last 3 days, really since Sunday night when Sam Darnold balled out. There's just so much revisionist history on Jets Twitter that, they shouldn't have let Sam walk. They should have kept Sam. They had the quarterback. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Sam Darnold's on his 5th team in 8 years.
Right.
The Jets aren't the only person that whiffed on Sam Darnold. He went to Carolina for 2 years. He went to the 49ers for a year. I don't know. He looks better than Brock Purdy right now to me.
Hate to be a homer, but it takes time to figure out. Look at Baker Mayfield. Gets cut again. He might not sign anywhere.
Him and Sam Darnold have the same story, basically.
But that's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's why the drafting 1 overall, that shit very rarely works out. It really doesn't.
I think Minnesota looks worse than the Jets for not keeping Sam Darnold. I mean, Minnesota, what would they be doing right now if they had this level of Sam Darnold? They had it last year. I mean, McCarthy is what he is, but
probably undefeated again.
But I think him getting hurt, just literally threw the world for a whirl because, again, he was just supposed to be your backup. J.J. McCarthy was supposed to be there. He goes down, gets hurt. Sam Darnold plays and balls out, and he's like, oh, shit, he could still play. Sometimes it just takes these guys longer
that's what I'm saying. Until last year, nobody thought Sam Darnold could play. He got signed to even his deal in Seattle right now, all his guaranteed money is only in this year. He doesn't have any guaranteed money after this year.
Think of it this way.
They gave him a 1-year deal.
Think of this. Think of, what was it, last year or the year before? No team would go anywhere near 2 first-round picks for Lamar Jackson. Remember that was their asking price when he was on the block? They were getting no one said, wow, hell no. Now you just traded 2 1s for a corner.
Yes.
This shit changes day by day, week by week, year by year. No one knows any of it.
Right. So, yeah, in a vacuum, if the Jets could go back and see 8 years ahead of time, I'm sure they would gladly take Sam Darnold back right now. But
100%.
The Jets didn't have the luxury of knowing 5 years ahead of time what Sam Darnold was going to turn into. At that point, he's admitted, I've listened to podcasts with him. He says, I didn't play well in New York. I understand why I was traded. I understand it. And they brought in a new GM that didn't draft him. They brought in a new coach, and they reset the quarterback clock. They just didn't hit on that quarterback. Zach Wilson wasn't it. And if you want to fault them for anything, that's it. But, I mean, I think the practice of moving on from Sam, I liked. I mean,
you had to.
They got good value. They got a 2 for him, and they took Breece Hall with that 2nd round pick. So
and with Sam's journey, I mean, when he was in the Niners, he got to learn from Kyle Shanahan, and then when he went to the Vikings, he got to learn from Kevin O'Connell. And if he's on the Jets, he doesn't get to learn from those 2 guys. So
100%.
Right.
Yeah.
100% PJ.
Baker learning from Sean McVay. It's the same thing. You just have to have that click, and then it all comes and falls into place. And unfortunately, the Jets have had problems with developing quarterbacks, and I think this offseason, they really have to put some investment in some older, wiser minds or voices in that offensive room. Not to say you got to get rid of guys, not to say you got to get rid of Engstrand or anybody else. But
I love Engstrand, man. I think Engstrand ending up, man. Like I like what I've seen from Engstrand.
But I think they need an established quarterback coach. I think they need an established passing game coordinator. Yeah. Somebody to come in and kind of just give another layer to the skills and to the, to the vision of what Tanner Engstrand's already bringing to the table. It's just missing just that little extra, and I think they found a really, really good OC. I really do.
Yeah, and I know there's it doesn't look great because of Justin Fields' shortcomings and him not being able to do the things that Engstrand wants to probably do. But I mean, if you like, I know casual football fans, they turn on the TV, they see negative 10 yards passing, or they see 3 points every week in the first half, and they're not moving the ball. But like, if you actually watch the film and you watch the games, like, guys are open every play. Like, and these aren't good wide receivers either. Like, this is Josh Reynolds and like Alan Lazard getting.
They're being schemed open.
They're being schemed open. Like, the game script is fire, man. Like the guy is running a good game plan. He's running a good game script. He just doesn't have a quarterback. He just doesn't have a quarterback that can get the ball to the guys that are getting open. But like, guys are open constantly in this offense. And the line is finally seemed the last couple of weeks. It seems like they're finally meshing, and they've been able to run the ball finally. And I don't know what fucking light bulb went off last week in Cincinnati. Maybe it was Garrett Wilson not playing, but it seems like it took 8 weeks for them to realize how good fucking Breece Hall is. I'm hoping that that was like a light bulb that goes off, and they're going to start using him in that manner. Give him the ball 25 times a game.
Right. And I think he's going to be the No, but he's going to be the key, especially. And that's why I was always in the camp, and I did not want to trade Breece Hall. You're going to need an established above average running back to lean on when eventually this team gets their rookie quarterback, whether it's next year or the year after. You're going to need some type of other dimension to the offense to lean on. And Breece Hall is a fucking phenomenal piece to do that with.
He's a top 5 running back in this league. He's a top 5 player at his position.
Granted, he's had his struggles. Don't get me wrong. I've given him flack, with the fumbles and some of the bullshit, but he's electric, and he's a well above average pass catcher. And you've got to ride that gravy train as long as you can, or no quarterback is going to be successful. Period. Can you imagine if they traded him? We'd be rolling out fucking Isaiah Davis, or starting running back for the rest of the season.
Round or two, like, ugh.
I mean, not a knock against Davis. He's a good player. But again, like, if you're smart, Braylon Allen isn't coming back this year at all.
No, I mean, he had surgery. I don't think he's coming back.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, but they haven't ruled it out yet. So why bring him back? Ride with it. You got to extend him. But I think this offense can look drastically different if you play it the right way. And then when you have 3 first-round picks, you get Jeremiah Smith in 2027. Just saying. That motherfucker is lightning.
I'm all in on that.
Imagine him next to G-Dub.
If you didn't trade him today, you have $116 million. Guys aren't lining up to play for the Jets. If Breece Hall is willing to stay on a 3-year deal for, I don't know, $39 million,
you do it. Give it.
Guarantee it all in the first 2 years. So by the time 2027 rolls around, he's on his last year of guaranteed money, and you figure it out then. If you're, I don't know, man. He's too good to not keep around for a team that doesn't have a lot of good players.
Right.
You have a fuck ton of money. You have a fuck ton of picks.
Just do it.
Yeah. At this point, what are we doing? Like, we can't be in the business of just letting good players leave in the prime of their careers over running backs aren't expensive. Like, I understand pass rushers, they command $130, $140 million, or, wide receivers are now $130, $140 million. I mean, running backs, you're talking about $30 or $40 million on the whole length of the deal.
Right.
It's an $11 or $12 million a year investment. It's not a lot of money. So I I think they'd be foolish to not keep Brees Hall around beyond, especially now that they didn't trade him. Like,
Agreed.
I get they wanted a third. They were offered a fourth by the Chiefs. They balked. So if you didn't take a 4, you're just going to let him walk. I mean,
it doesn't make sense.
Unless you plan on keeping him around beyond, it doesn't make sense to not have taken the 4. And then just kind of before we wrap here, I think the biggest surprise to me today was that Quincy Williams was not traded.
That too.
I thought for sure if anybody, like if the Jets did no trades today, they only did one, I would have told you it would be Quincy Williams. I thought 100% Quincy Williams was going to get traded today. Expiring deal. Doesn't seem like they're going to pay him because they already paid Sherwood. They're not going to pay 2 off-ball linebackers a bunch of money. They
I like
traded
Quincy
his,
Williams better than
they
Sherwood a lot.
Too.
Me too. I mean, I think if they could go back, they would have not paid Sherwood because that is not looking like a good deal. He is not playing well. Obviously, some disciplinary action last week. He was benched in the first quarter. Just looked like you have some effort problems this year. It just does not look like the same guy you gave that deal to. And if I could go back, I would have let him walk and given Quincy the money. But obviously, you can't. It's one etch a sketch you can't undo, right? So, but I mean, fuck it. You didn't trade him now. Like, I'm just gonna let him walk for nothing. Like, I don't know. I think any of these guys that you didn't trade, you have so much money opened up now. Like, see what they want. Like, to stick around. So, I don't know. It was a, for lack of a better word, it was an interesting day in Jets land. That's for sure.
Right. We'll just wait until we get Alex Anzalo, who's that guy, the defensive guy for the captain for the Lions.
Oh,
Sure, he's on an expiring deal. I'll take him.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good player.
So, all right. Well, a world where Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams are no longer Jets, and Alan Lazard is still here. Long live Alan Lazard, ladies and gents. Long live Alan Lazard.
At this point, just extend him. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that.
But as always, thank you guys for listening. As always, you could find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Pods. Also find us on X at Jets Pod, Instagram at Jets Group Chat Pod. We'll see what happens this weekend against Cleveland, and I'm most interested to just kind of see what these new, if they even play. I would assume they're going to try and get some of these younger Mechie and guys like that in the fold. So I'm interested to see what those guys look like. But I don't know. But I guess we're wrapping. But are you guys rooting for a win at this point Sunday? Or are you all in on like fucking go all in on tank and just don't win anymore?
I want to beat the Browns.
No, I want the win. I want, as much as we don't want moral victories, I do want the moral victory. And let's be honest, you're not out tanking the fucking Saints.
Yeah.
Tennessee looks real fucking bad too. You're probably not going to outtake them. And like we said, it's no guarantee that the number 1 overall pick is going to be the lock and all to be all. So
yeah.
Let it ride. Give this team some morality boosts, win some games, give the young guys some experience, and just fucking do it the right way and draft the right players.
Just fucking win.
Just win, baby.
All right. Well, it's a consensus. We want the Jets to win. Fuck the tank, and draft picks be damned. It felt so good to finally win a game last Sunday. I was on such a high for like 3 days because they won a meaningless game. Like, that would go a long way if I got like 2 or 3 more of those the rest of the way. So give me all the wins that we can get the rest of the way.
Watch the Jets are going to fucking win, like not outright, but they're in the hunt. We're 1 game away from being in the hunt on the NFL graphics. You see that?
Can you imagine like some crazy shit happen at like, this is just me going off the rails, but like the Jets just went on some run where like, I don't know, they finished like 10-7 or some shit like that. Like they went out the rest of the way somehow. Like
everyone else in the AFC does not look that fucking good.
Yeah.
Nobody looks that good. I don't think there's any team that's like dude, the Ravens have like 2 more wins than we do.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad teams this year.
The Chiefs have 3 more wins than we four. But either way. But I mean, like, there's no like powerhouses in the AFC this year. It's a weird year.
Do you want to call Sauce Gardner and the Colts a powerhouse?
Let's not get crazy. I hope we see them in fucking
All right. Well, this is goodbye for real this time. Thank you guys for listening in, and
Jet up, boys.
we'll be back at you soon. Jet up, boys.
Peace.